What is up, YouTube, man? It's your man Kevo back with another video, man. Today, I found it. I found a video of they exposing this little unstable creature, Malika Andrews, puppet of the almost choked. Malika Andrews, the puppet of ESPN basketball. She most definitely is a puppet. Or she loved doing the shit that she be saying. She loves saying the shit she be saying, bro. A guy gets drafted first overall. Oh, man. He had a terrible life growing up. His mom was a crackhead. Like, bitch, who fucking asked all that? But it looks like this video finna get deep into it. Let's get into it.
The ultimate hater of black human beings. The ultimate hater. There is nothing about her existence that says, I'm black and I'm proud.
Be remiss not to also mention that Missoula was arrested twice at West Virginia, once in 2008 for underage drinking and aggravated assault. Adrian Payne was shot and killed in Orlando, Florida, early Monday morning. In 2018, he was waived by the Magic after he was named in a report by ESPN's Outside the Lines that he'd been involved in an alleged sexual assault.
His name did surface in court testimony involving a case where his former teammate and another man, they've been indicted for capital murder. And
Why she had to bring up that situation though? Like, why? Oh, like that would be pissing me off about this lady, bro. I love when Stephen A. get on her ass, bro.
NBA media is often disliked by many, usually just for their annoying journalistic tendencies. But considering recent involvements, one member of the NBA media stands out among all. She goes by Malika Andrews. In her short career in basketball media, Malika has already swiftly established herself as a very disliked figure for various reasons. Whether it be from taking extremist stances, targeting specific groups of people, or just arguing out of bad faith, she's not unfamiliar to any of it. But despite these concerning incidents, the recent large-scale firing in an attempt to cut costs by ESPN saw the exit of many experienced and clean.
Everybody but her, bro. Like, come on, bro. Everybody but this bitch, man. Steve Young gone. They let go Matt Hasselbeck. Oh, man, they let go Max Kellerman, Keyshawn Johnson, Jeff Van Gundy, bro. I mean, Jeff Van Gundy, he was kind of annoying, but what he was saying wasn't wrong. Like, the shit that he was been saying wasn't wrong. He don't be saying no out-of-line shit. So, it's crazy, bro.
Slated analysts and hosts including Jalen Rose, Jeff Van Gundy,
Right, Jalen
and
Rose.
Max Kellerman, while Malika Andrews remained.
Man, if I'm all they ass, I'll make some out. You know what I'm saying? Form a group called the Layoffs, nigga. The Layoff Podcast. Yeah, bro.
Untouched, causing outbursts among the community. While unsurprising, there was no doubt that NBA players, fans, and even her co-workers aren't fond of her. But why is she still such a favorite at ESPN? This is just one of the many questions we'll be answering very shortly. Before we get into that, more recently, the spotlight returned on Malika after the 2023 NBA Draft, where Malika Andrews publicly read out dramatized headlines of Brandon Miller's past, painting the second overall pick in a false and unflattering manner, attempting to tarnish his name. Some claim this was an unintended attack, but judging by Andrews' previous public comments, this incident targeting someone like Brandon Miller should have come at no surprise. Previous encounters saw her get into ill-intended exchanges with Giannis Antetokounmpo, Matt
Giannis
Barnes, and Stephen A. Smith, just to name a few. But before we get into how these altercations developed, let's rewind the clock and better understand who Malika Andrews is.
Yeah, where did Big come from, bro? I need to know where this Big came from, bro.
Hey, do you want to start streaming? With All Pro, you get.
Man, shut the fuck up. All right.
Malika Andrews was born in January 1995 in Oakland, California, to a personal trainer father and an art teacher mother. She attended a private co-education prep school called Head Boys School, and she proved to be great academically. Although things seemed to be going great, behind closed doors it was a different story. Malika Andrews would later claim that as a middle schooler, she was angry, depressed, and anxious, and suffered from multiple eating disorders. She would state that from 14 years old, she would be in survival mode, later admitting to her parents that she may need some professional help. As a result, her parents would enroll her into a therapeutic boarding school in Utah at 14 years old. If you didn't know, a therapeutic boarding school is a school focused on creating a therapeutic schooling and housing environment for students with emotional or behavioral issues. Regardless, she would get through these tough times and graduate high school in 2012, and would later work at a civil rights law firm with her grandpa for a year before she began her communications degree at the University of Portland. During her time in college, she would take on the journalistic roles at the university, where she was a sports writer, sports editor, and editor-in-chief. After graduation, Malika would introduce herself to Adrian Wojnarowski at the 2017 Summer League, and it would be years later until they would work together at ESPN. Anyways, her academic results and diverse portfolio of work at her university would still earn her various internship offers. Coming out of college, she worked 1 year with the Chicago Tribune before joining ESPN as a reporter, covering the Chicago Bulls and Milwaukee Bucks. While Malika was closely covering the Bucks vs Raptors series,
I knew it. Knew something was just off about those years, bro. It was her. It was her that jinxed the Bulls.
In 2019, was when her first controversial incident would arise. Following the Milwaukee Bucks' series defeat to the Raptors in the
when they
Eastern
lost to the
Conference
Raptors.
Finals, a tense situation unfolded between Malika Andrews and Giannis Antetokounmpo during a post-game press conference.
So you guys have talked a lot about how at this point, sometimes it takes experience. I'm wondering if now that you have some of that experience, if you see more validity to that point, or what you think about that now that you've gone through it.
As you can clearly see, as soon as Malika begins talking, Giannis' face changes before he later walks out of the room. The reason as to why Giannis left was that within a short 15 to 20 minute time frame following his team's exit from the playoffs, Giannis would be notified of an article written by Malika Andrews.
Bucks elimination puts focus on Giannis' future in Milwaukee. This lady here. And guess what happened? Giannis stays and win a championship. Stop playing with him. Okay? Well, they did lose in the bubble against the Heat in 5. But, hey, guess what? He swept them next season. But, hey. Anyway, that whole question was stupid anyways because talking about experience, bro, that Raptors team besides who the fuck? Kawhi Leonard was inexperienced. So, experience had nothing to do with it. The Raptors was just a better team that series.
In the article, Malika had gone into great detail about Giannis' perspective on his future at Milwaukee with free agency approaching. The article basically created the narrative that his commitment to remaining in Milwaukee was based on whether the Bucks reached the NBA Finals or not. As a result, Giannis would not say a single word and see himself out, due to seemingly not wanting to partake in a conversation with her at all, as it seemed her journalism methods didn't sit right with him. Although some will claim Giannis is overreacting and that Malika was only doing her job, the subsequent controversies that emerged shortly after left the NBA community even more stunned. As time went on, Malika Andrews began being given bigger opportunities at ESPN. In late 2021, due to a diversity requirement and being set up, top ESPN host of 6 years, Rachel Nichols, was fired by ESPN after invasive methods were used to spy on her and set her up. Anyways, this role later opened up to Malika Andrews, an ideal candidate in the role to fit diversity requirements, and soon Malika Andrews would become a regular host that would be seen on ESPN. In early 2022,
and low key, ever since Rachel left, the jump was way better than NBA today, for sure. I ain't gonna lie,
Malika
the jump
would get
was
into
way
it
better.
with Matt Barnes during a LeBron versus Kobe debate.
I'm definitely not saying that, but what I'm saying is Kobe would get in, like he would not let the way some of his teammates
Sure, but if you get in someone's
play
face and it doesn't
slide.
turn into wins, then you're just getting in somebody's face.
But it's going to be a problem the entire season.
Months later, she would get into another debate with ex-NBA players.
You can't look at a person. Yeah, but you're making an assumption.
Yes, you can.
You can't look at a person and know what their intent was.
There is no doubt that Malika's ego is in her.
All right, she be trying to. Hold on, wait a second. Like these hoes be trying to. I know y'all want to get y'all little 2 cents in because y'all the host and shit, but y'all the host, bro. How you gonna talk over You know what I'm saying? The people who supposed to be debating, bro. You can't be the host and debating with other motherfuckers, bro. You just the host, shorty. Stay in your motherfucking lane. You hear me? Low.
Her way during these arguments, forgetting that she's debating ex-NBA players about basketball. Although these were just small confrontations, it was just a taste of what was yet to come. In September 2022, reports came out that Celtics...
Man, folks, deep. Oh my God. Let me play it. I'm gonna play it. The fuck? The fuck going on? What just happened? What the fuck? What the? All right, y'all, we back. I don't know what the hell happened.
2022, reports came out that Celtics head coach Ime Udoka was exposed for having a consensual relationship with a member of Celtics staff, breaking team rules, later resulting in his suspension as their head coach for the entire season that followed.
And that been the goofiest decision they ever came with. I'm sorry. Udoka take y'all to the, you know what I'm saying, to the finals. First year as a head coach, bro. First year ever as a head coach. He taking this team to the final. Y'all want to find because somebody wife is a fucking thought in the organization? Let's be real. Come on, man. Come on.
Load. In response to this,
and it's kind of messy that they went public for that shit. They took that shit to public.
Situation and later suspension of Udoka, many members of the NBA media would give their input, including Stephen A. Smith. Stephen would come to the defense of Udoka, pointing out the hypocrisy with the entire publicized incident involving Ime.
Every single sport, there's people messing around with each other within an organization.
Yep.
Yes, indeed. All the time.
Yes.
That is the problem with this issue. This black man that you we talking about him on national television because you publicize a personal matter where there's a whole bunch of issues personally that have happened in NBA and
nigga love spitting. He said
baseball,
personally.
Sports. We don't hear about them
personally. I'm a black man. Personally.
Personal business.
This would proceed to get Malika heated and on her high horse.
Stephen A., with all due respect, this is not about pointing the finger. We are not here, Stephen A., to further blame women. That is not why we are here.
So Stephen A. had to show her.
Like, what? Who the fuck you talk to? You know who I am, bitch? I'm Stephen A. Stats. Stop playing. I got the same initials as the San Antonio Spurs. Stop playing with me.
The real boss.
I don't appreciate where you're going with that. My issue is all of this being publicized. The point that I'm trying to make is just like you're not mentioning. Excuse me.
You know what it is, bro? I think she fucking the higher ups, bro. Anybody who's talking like that when they're rolled outside of their, you know what I'm saying, going outside of their lane and shit, they fucking the higher ups for sure. She fucking the higher up. She's fucking the higher white guys. You know what I'm saying? They love the way how she talk on our people, bro. They love it. You know what I'm saying?
Excuse me. I listened to you. You're the one telling me to stop on my show. It ain't happening.
However, when discussing the same topic on Malika's show, things went a little different with Kendrick Perkins.
This relationship that was had with Ime Udoka and one of these women, it was consensual, meaning that this woman actually played a part in it too. So my thing is, yes, Ime Udoka was wrong. We get that. His punishment, he deserved that, and whatever else follows, I hate it for him, but he put himself in this position. But why are the other people getting left off the hook?
Well,
that's the problem that I have right now. Everybody got to be held accountable.
It is unfair and irresponsible of us to go and to speculate on that, because what we have to...
Well, I'm not speculating.
Sure.
I have the information. I'm not speculating.
That whatever rule, the
buddy.
conduct that was broken on one side, it is not the same on the other side. I thank you for your perspective.
Although it's easy to point the finger at Malika,
Man, shut the fuck up, bitch, man. No, cause for real though. What happened to the bitch that was getting fucked? I ain't finna lie. What they do to her? Like, for real, what they do to her? You know what I'm saying?
the reality of the situation goes deeper and may only point to Malika Andrews as merely just a messenger. Because the truth is, Malika Andrews fits in perfectly as the ideal candidate to promote the woke or feminist narrative that most media tend to push. I think these clips of Jalen Rose—
That bitch is not woke. Nah, don't even put her in that. Malika Andrews ain't nothing woke about this lady. She might be a feminist, but ain't nothing woke about this lady, for real. Don't do that. Shit, all she do is talk shit about black men.
may just prove this.
We know his name. Maybe I'm missing something as it relates to the law, but why we don't know her name? It's not like she's a minor. I feel like we should know her name publicly as well.
After openly sharing his potentially controversial
So
opinion,
I hate that, bro. They had his. I was watching whatever game was on live, bro. I was watching this shit. He said that shit, and I was wondering why they cut in the middle of a commercial. And he had to fucking apologize, bro. I hate that shit. I hate how they did him like that.
And I would like to apologize for a comment I made earlier on NBA Countdown. I question why a woman's name who had an alleged affair with Celtics head coach Ime Udoka was not made public.
I think it's pretty obvious what ESPN thought about his initial statements. And after assistant coach Joe Mazzulla was named interim coach after Udoka's suspension, this is what Malika said to welcome him.
Mazzulla was arrested twice at West Virginia, once in 2008 for underage drinking and aggravated assault, and then again in 2009 for domestic battery after an incident at Morgantown Bar.
You might be wondering, is Malika okay? How does it make sense to bring up someone's criminal history from 13 years ago?
No reason.
In a situation where no crimes were committed under the law. However, when considering Malika's recent comments made about Brandon Miller, a clear yet disturbing pattern is becoming evident. To add to this, around a month after the Ime Udoka situation, during a segment reporting on the death of former Michigan State player Adrian Payne, this is what Malika had to say about Payne.
Adrian Payne was shot and killed in Orlando, Florida. Played 4 seasons in the NBA with multiple teams. In 2018, he was waived by the Magic after he was named in a report by ESPN's Outside the Lines that he'd been involved.
Now what? Like this shit people be mad about. Like why? The man just died. Why you bringing up some shit like that, man? Fuck is wrong with her, bro?
In an alleged sexual assault at Michigan State in 2010. No charges were filed in that case.
Again, the pattern of unnecessarily airing out the criminal history of black men during a time of vulnerability continues. So the question remains, did she speak these words of her own accord, or was she just reading from a script? If she indeed chose to bring up this incident unprompted—
No, she did it on her own, but the ESPN ain't gonna let it slide because they low-key like this shit, period.
Reveals a deep-rooted hatred towards black men. If she didn't, then it brings up a deeper issue within the roots of the organization. Regardless, this doesn't take from the fact that Malika is the one making these absurd and damaging statements. Following this statement, it wouldn't be long until Malika Andrews' antics on television would again turn heads. While welcoming Jalen Rose back during a segment of a show, this happened.
Get your finger out of my armpit. We're just happy to see Jalen Rose. Welcome.
As you can clearly see, Jalen's hand is by no means under Malika's armpit, and even if it was, why does that need to be brought up on the spot in such an accusatory manner? Nevertheless, another baseless accusation by Malika, and Jalen Rose had to find out the hard way. To add to these 2 instances involving Ime Udoka and Adrian Payne, more recently, Malika Andrews would bring up an alleged Brandon Miller incident on draft night.
His name did surface in court testimony involving a case where his former teammate and another man, they've been indicted for capital murder.
Look at JJ Redick's face, bro. Hold on.
Court testimony involving a case where his former teammate and another man, they've been
Bro, oh, that's terrible quality, but yeah, that was just fucking unnecessary. He looking at he side-eyed a bit like, really, bitch?
indicted for capital murder.
Many claim this as unnecessary and undoubtedly an attempt to tarnish Miller's name, just like many other black men. In this situation, Malika provided limited context, reading a sensationalized headline aimed at portraying Miller in the most negative light imaginable within a short segment. After considering Brandon Miller was never charged for the incident in January, her airing out a blanket incriminating accusation adds to another example of Malika Andrews showing contempt towards black men. Although Malika Andrews has not had the easiest upbringing by any means, this does not excuse her actions. There's no denying that she's swiftly established herself as a disliked figure in NBA media by her colleagues, as well as NBA players and fans, as a result of not just her typical journalistic tendencies, but her tendency to consistently attempt to tarnish the reputation of black men in the realm of sports. Malika's clear discrimination of black men on the extremely large platform is simply unjust, but what's more alarming is that the company that hires her continues to encourage her without punishment. After ESPN recently released their list of firings for the year, fans were outraged after discovering Malika Andrews was not on the list. Although many of us see through her often insensitive actions, to ESPN and sports media as a whole, she's probably seen as a loved and protected figure that can do no wrong. And the truth is, there is no sign that the rise of Malika Andrews in sports media will be stopping anytime soon.
I heard she was dating one of the producers or some shit. Somebody behind the scenes, one of the writers or something. But yeah, bro, they ain't gonna let her off soon, bro. Cause first off, she look good. You know what I'm saying? They need her face so they won't be to stop all the, you know what I'm saying, in diversity allegations. ESPN has been looking like CNN for the past 3 years. So they like that political bullshit. Yeah, that's why they ain't gonna let her go. And like the title said, she is the puppet of ESPN basketball. Y'all have a good one.